Before October 7th, if I was a 25-year-old Palestinian man, how hard would it be for me to travel outside those walls? The truth is, almost impossible. The borders are controlled. Exit permits are rarely granted, especially to young men. Even if I had the money and a passport, just physically leaving Gaza would be a massive ordeal. Imagine growing up like that, a world only 25 miles long, and you've never stepped outside it. What would I even know about the outside world? Gaza has internet, but power cuts, bad infrastructure, and propaganda shape whatever information gets through. School isn't neutral. News isn't neutral. You don't get clean facts. You get competing narratives. And what about the people on the other side of the wall? What would I think of Israelis? If I had lived my whole life in Gaza, chances are I never met one. My only exposure would be guard towers, drones, and soldiers at checkpoints. From my side, I'd probably believe the average Israeli is armed or trained, part of the system that controls my life. Half of all Israeli citizens have served in the military. Compare that to the United States, where only about 6% of the population are active or former military. Towns near Gaza often have armories for civilian defense teams, supplied by the IDF. For a young Palestinian man, all of this reinforces the idea that everyone over there is part of a military machine. When I think about October 7th, I can't help but imagine that most of the young Palestinian men who took part had never been inside an Israeli town. They likely expected soldiers, fortified positions, armed resistance, because that's all they thought Israel was. And instead, they ran into civilians, families, teenagers, people at a music festival. That shock, when reality doesn't match the narrative, can twist things fast. Some freeze, some panic, some turn violent. None of it is justified, but the psychology behind it is real. Many of the young men who committed atrocities were barely adults, shaped by isolation, indoctrination, hopelessness, and leaders who exploited them for power. Understanding that doesn't excuse anything, but it does explain how people can be pushed into the unimaginable. If I had lived their life behind those walls and with that education, that propaganda, and that hopelessness, my worldview would be different too. So my point is this. Add that context when you think about October 7th. Think about being that 25-year-old man whose whole life has been, and will probably always be, inside that narrow 25-mile strip.